Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Vaibhav, your host for today. We continue with our Sadgun Sanglit 123rd virtual webinar. Our topic for today is MSME Sustainable Z Certification Scheme. It shall be taken by Mr. Anantha Narayanan Iyer. He shall be covering about the Z vision and eligibility criteria, features of the Z scheme, Z certification, process and parameters, benefits and incentives offered under the Z scheme for MSME, how to apply for Z, followed by question and answer session. Let's quickly go through the agenda for the Sadgun Summit. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Mr. Anantha Narayanan Iyer, question and answer session, last closing session. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria, Chairman and Managing Director, ICS Group Company. Sadgun Sangh, conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. His designation and organization: Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualifications are Doctorate in Business Management, Mechanical Engineer. His experience are Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India's first nuclear power plant, RAPP at Rawatbata, Kota, built by Indian engineers, worked as a nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the planet. Engineers India Limited, first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High Offshore Oil and Gas fields, mega offshore, complex platform, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection and irrigation, oil and gas equipment, etc. Date NORSEC Versatile World largest classification society, worked for 17 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshore installations, submarine pipelines, onshore project and personnel qualification, underwater inspection drivers. ICS. He is the founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body, established in the year 1999, provider of total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO, inspection, testing and training, qualification of personnel. His achievements and awards: received Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA, social worker, protection of life, assets, environmental and safety. Now we request Dr. Kataria to virtually inaugurate the session.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of Gayatri Mantra. A brief introduction of the keynote speaker, his designation and organization. Tejas Business Solution, Consultant, Operational Excellence. His academic qualification are Bachelor of Engineering, Instrumentation, Postgraduate Diploma in International Trade, Certified ZED Master Trainer and ZED Consultant. His areas of specialization and experience, 30 plus years of experience in project management, solution design, consulting, training, implementation and support on SAP, PM and EHS and control of work solutions in asset life cycle management, processes, regulatory, HSC, performance and compliance reporting. Instrumentation engineer with 7 plus years of deep functional experience on asset maintenance processes, HSC processes, and project management activities in petrochemical, petroleum, telecom, and textile industry, with expertise in quality management processes for design, implementation, auditing, and maintaining ISO 9002 QHSC process consultant with strategy and business solution, passionate trainer, coach, and Toastmaster. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vaibhav, for the warm introduction. And very good morning to all of you. Namaste. And it's a pleasure to be part of this very, very noble initiative by Dr. Sundar Kataria to educate and enlighten the professionals, industry professionals, on the aspects of quality and safety along with productivity. This is something that is a very, very noble initiative. And I look forward for contributing more and more of my service in the initiative taken by Dr. Sundar Kataria. So having said this, let's get started with the whole session now. I realize there are about 50 odd participants in the session today. I would have loved to interact one-on-one with all of you, but given the context of what we have with a Zoom online session, let us try to maximize as much as possible the interaction by either using the chat box that's there with you. Please use the chat box explicitly that you want to express yourself. And if possible, I would be more than happy if I'm able to see you online. If you can on your cameras, and then you can ask questions around so that the interaction becomes much more engaging and entertaining. Most importantly, I would like to understand to begin with, how many of you in this session today are from manufacturing background? You are manufacturing today, something or the other. Either you have a factory yourself or you are working in a factory which is owned by somebody else. Can you please show me by either by a raise of hand, thumbs up or anything, just to let me know how many of you are in core manufacturing, because this program is essentially targeted towards the manufacturing sector, the MSME manufacturing sector. So can I try to get some interaction from the audience around who all are from the manufacturing sector here, please? If you are able to hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me, guys? Because if I'm not able to get any response from you, it will be very difficult for us to do this program. Is anyone who is there from manufacturing background? Anybody from manufacturers? Anybody from MSME manufacturing here? I see Jarna Mandyan raising the hand. Thank you, Jarna ji. Anybody else? Anybody else who is from the manufacturing background? If you are able to hear me loud and clear. Because this entire program is meant for manufacturers, dear friends, right? So I would like to be very sure that you are from the manufacturing background so that I can address you appropriately as well. Yeah. Jarna ji, you have said yes, but I'm expecting some more people to at least be attentive and say yes or no. If you are not from manufacturing background, you can also type out saying that no, you're not from manufacturing, you are but from somewhere else and doing something else. Yeah, Elango, thank you, Elango, for that message. Thanks, Elango. Thanks, Vaibhav ji. Yes, thanks, Vaibhav. That's nice. Good. So as we go along, we will try to connect more and more and try to see if there could be more responses coming from the participants, because I want this to be not a one-sided program, my dear friends. We need to exchange certain information, certain views, so that the program becomes much more effective, right? So that's the reason why I'm asking you to please connect on the online platform and exchange your messages, that it becomes really helpful for me also. So on that note, before even I start with the main presentation on these ZED processes, I would like to show you a very small, about 2 minutes kind of a summary of what ZED is all about. So please allow me to do that. So and then we will quickly jump into the presentation. Hope you are able to, just let me know if you're able to see the screen that I'm sharing,
Yes,
as well
sir.
as you are able to hear the audio as well. The audio is not that important though. Yeah. So that's a very short, very short presentation on what you're going to see during this particular 1.5 hours of session today. And yep, so let's get started with the main presentation. Yeah, you're able to see my screen? Any feedback, thumbs up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Visible.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's helpful. If there is anything that you want to communicate me, please also use a chat box. I would be happy to share any other insights also during this. So let's get going into this. So what we'll be covering today is a very brief about what is this MSME ZED certification scheme all about, the vision, the eligibility criteria for getting into this scheme by the government of India. What are the main features of this zero effect, zero defect scheme, the certification process itself, and what parameters are part of this particular process. What are the benefits that MSMEs you would benefit from using this particular program? And a very briefly, if time permits, we'll also show you how the portal looks like and how you can download, upload the documents that are required for being part of the ZED scheme, right? So let's start off with this. And I was happy to see that as a part of the initial presentation that was shown by ICS, the ZED getting featured as one of the services being provided by the International Certification Services Private Limited. So that's nice to know that it's already getting attraction. So how many of you have heard about this particular concept of ZED certification? Any raise of hands here? Any raise of hands as to who has heard about the ZED certification scheme and its benefits for MSMEs? Okay. So let's understand what it is all about, and then we will be further able to dwell on this. But before we begin, some of the very hygiene instructions. Keep your mic muted if you're not speaking, and please answer questions when prompted, because that's what makes the program interactive. And limit your questions if possible to ZED so that we can maximize the time that's there today. And if possible, if your bandwidth permits and things are fine, keep your videos on so that I can also see you on the screen here. And if you are having any questions, please use the chat box as well, and keep them. There's going to be a specific Q&A session at the end of the program, as has been already indicated in the agenda, and I will be able to answer questions for you. And before I start, may I ask Vaibhav or anybody else, is there any language restriction that I need to be aware of? Is English comfortable for everybody, or do you want me to kind of switch between English, Hindi, Marathi, or anything?
So comfortable with English.
Okay. English and Hindi? Hindi
Yes.
chalega thoda bahut na?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have got people from Hindi speaking background as well. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thanks a lot, Vaibhav, for that feedback. Yeah, so let's jump into the slides here. So about this particular scheme, right? So basically, ZED essentially stands for a combination of two concepts. Concepts one is what is called as zero effect and zero defect, right? And I'm sure that as manufacturing MSMEs and into manufacturing sectors, or even when you are not doing any manufacturing, you all would be very, very much aware of zero defects in your operations. I'm very sure, because nobody likes defects. Everybody wants their own product to be meeting the specifications as required by the quality parameters. So we do not want to have any defects in our product that we are giving. And so for sure, everybody knows this concept of zero defect. But what is this zero effect? This is something that everyone has to understand very clearly. The zero effect here actually means zero effect on the environment. Whenever we are manufacturing something, there is an inadvertent effect on the environment because of our manufacturing process. There is no doubt about it, because we are consuming raw materials, we are consuming energy, we are consuming so many resources when we are producing something, when you're manufacturing something, right? And whenever you're producing something, you're manufacturing something, there has to be an impact on the environment. There is no doubt about it. The whole purpose here is to ensure that we are becoming as much sustainable as possible with respect to the environment. And that is this whole concept of zero effect on the environment. Now, zero effect doesn't necessarily mean that you will have zero pollution, for example, yeah? Or for example, you will not use any energy. That's impossible. So there will be an impact on the environment, but we will try to ensure that our operations are as sustainable as possible, and ensuring that the impact on the environment is zero in terms of being as less as possible. So zero effect, zero defect is together what is called as ZED. Yeah, that is what this particular term is about. And this particular concept was introduced by our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji way back in during his one of the earliest Independence Day speeches from the Red Fort, right? And when he spoke about saying that we as Indian manufacturers need to adopt this philosophy of zero effect, zero defect, so that we become competitive in the world, in the world market. Our products are not rejected by anybody. At the same time, our operations are sustainable for the environment. And with that message in mind, in 2016, if I'm not wrong, Quality Council of India set together is this process of creating this framework called as zero effect, zero defect certification for the MSMEs. And that is what is the entire background of how the journey started off with for the ZED process. ZED has been, there was an earlier version of ZED. We started off with the ZED program in 2017, actually, which we now popularly call as ZED 1.0. There were a number of parameters on which we wanted to assess the MSMEs, but eventually we found that the ZED version 1.0 was becoming too heavy, too complicated for the MSMEs to follow, because MSMEs want a very simple and straightforward system, right? So instead of giving them a very comprehensive, complicated system to use, we wanted to kind of change the entire thing. And that is how the ZED 2.0, that is in this new avatar of ZED, has come as the ZED MSME Sustainable Certification Scheme 2022. Now, 2022 April was the time when this program was officially launched by our Ministry of MSMEs. And subsequent to that, a lot of awareness programs are being conducted. Like this one is an awareness program on the importance and application of the ZED certification itself. So a number of such awareness programs have been conducted throughout the country, either in online mode, because when we started off in 2022 early, people were still not out to mingle and mix up in the social environment. So we did a lot of online awareness programs. Subsequently, we did a lot of physical programs. We reached out to numerous industry associations and conducted and are still conducting the awareness programs about the ZED. And glad to see that a lot of MSMEs have started taking benefit out of the ZED program in the last 1 year. They not only they got registered into the ZED, but they also started reaping the benefits of using the program in the last 1 year. And I'm really happy to see this transformation happening in the last 1 year. And it's a very quick transformation, I would say. We will talk more about the benefits that this program would bring to the MSMEs. And I'm sure that most of you here will also be able to jump onto this bandwagon very quickly. Yeah. So having said that, the vision was to ensure that the MSME manufacturing sector has got robust systems and processes. Like every manufacturing MSME does have a system, no doubt about it, because you are running the business, right? आपका धंधा चल रहा है, आप माल बेच रहे हो, आपको पैसा आ रहा है, इसका मतलब आपके पास में कुछ ना कुछ सिस्टम है, कुछ ना कुछ प्रोसेस तो है आपके पास में. लेकिन the whole concept here is to ensure that you have a very robust process, a very systematic process in place so that your competitiveness can improve. ऐसा नहीं कि आप लोग अभी कॉम्पिटिटिव नहीं हो, आप लोग हो, आप अपने अपने हिसाब से अपने कंपटीशन के साथ में आप हैंडल कर रहे हो, यू आर गेटिंग बेटर एंड बेटर एवरी डे. बट adopting this ZED program will also help you to go multiple notches up the ladder of competitiveness. Okay, that's the whole idea of ensuring that we become competitive. And there's a very beautiful mantra, like the country grows when you grow, right? And essentially you transform, the country transforms, isn't it? So this particular program is a significant part of our Atmanirbhar Bharat thought process of making our manufacturing sector as much as strong and resilient and competitive as possible in the coming years and months. Yeah. But that is the whole concept of making ourselves as champions in this process. And that's the vision with which the ZED program has been brought in. So once again, there's a question to all of you. If possible, please address this answer. Are you all MSMEs registered on Udayam portal or not? Are you registered on Udayam? Are you aware of the Udayam portal? Have you registered on Udayam, please? Any raise of hands, any chats? Anybody on Udayam? Elango, you had said that earlier you had said, Elango, that you are part of the MSME. Are you registered on Udayam? Vaibhav replies, yes. Vaibhav, thanks a lot for that. So do you know this? Is the importance of Udayam registration, my dear friends? Because Elango is saying no, right? Elango is manufacturing from manufacturing sector, but is saying no. So Udyog Aadhar Memorandum, in short for Udyam, is one of the essential steps for getting yourself registered into the system of MSMEs, right? So you earlier had something called as an Udyog Aadhar, right? Some to begin with, about 5 years or so, right? So the last couple of years, Government of India, Ministry of MSMEs has migrated to a very simpler methodology called as Udyam. So Udyog Aadhar Memorandum registration is mandatory for all the MSMEs, because that is a starting point for you to get any benefits from the government. Let me be very clear on this. Udyam registration is the starting point, a mandatory starting point for you to get registered and get benefits from the government. Yeah. So Mr. Elango, you have not gone into Udayam. I would strongly recommend that you get yourself, get your organization registered on Udayam and get an Udayam registration number, which is the starting point for getting into ZED also. This is the prime reason where this has come as the topmost thing for the registration into eligibility registrations into ZED. So Udyam is critical, important. So please get yourself registered on Udyam. And when you are a manufacturing MSME, then you will be asked certain questions about the nature of your manufacturing. You already know about the various sectors that are used in Indian manufacturing setup. You have to select the sector for which you are registering. You have to identify the multiple factories that you are having for manufacturing and get yourself registered. And it's a very simple process, not at all complicated. You do not require any assistance from anybody else to do this thing. Believe me, it's a very simple process to do. So I strongly recommend to go for Udayam first. Yeah. And I'm not seeing responses from the remaining 50 odd participants who are connected. I hope that you are listening to me and you're taking this very important message of Udayam registration, because dear friends, Udayam registration is critical for an MSME. Yeah? I cannot emphasize any more on this. Please do this thing. Yeah? So anybody who is on the Udayam portal, is eligible for getting into ZED as well. So that is a starting point for all of you, right? So there are multiple phases in which this implementation is going to be planned. The phase one is going to be the place where we will be looking at the manufacturing sector. Eventually in phase two, this is going to get extended to service sector also, because there are a lot of hospitality related services or any other services that are happening who are also getting registered in UDM. This particular ZED, zero effect, zero defect, is right now primarily focused on the manufacturing sector of the MSMEs, right? So that's the most important thing to understand. And UDM registry helps you to classify this. In UDM, you already classify yourself as a manufacturer or a service provider. So you get UDM registration accordingly. So that's the starting point for you, right? A lot of people are involved in this entire process. A lot of brain has come together to help frame this particular scheme, predominantly driven by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. That's obviously given, no doubt about it. The MSME DI is involved. The Quality Council of India is the driving force behind the ZED program. Apart from that, state governments are there, BSI is there, other ministries are involved. All the industry, many of the industry associations have also contributed to it. And the inputs from various experts on industry management has also brought into this to make this ZED framework. Yeah. So a lot of brain has gone into creating this particular framework, for which I'm sure that we all will be proud of as an Indian in the coming months and years when we start implementing and rolling out a lot of ZED initiatives across the country. So let's quickly look at the features of the ZED scheme. So broadly speaking, what we are going to have is that there are going to be 3 certification levels. Yeah. So let me give a simple example to you, right? So when you are buying an electrical gadget today, like be it an air conditioning unit or being at a refrigerator or any other electrical item, typically we look at the star rating. Right? We visibly look at the star rating, and that is it 3-star, a 3.5 star, a 4-star, or a 4.5 star, or a 5-star electrical equipment. Now, when you look at it, you get a visible confirmation that this particular equipment is an energy efficient equipment, isn't it? So that is a very clear indication to all of you, saying that, yeah, I'm going to buy something which is a 4-star or a 4.5 star electrical equipment, so that my electricity bill over a period of time is not going to be very high. So this particular visual indication helps you to take a quick decision about investing in that particular equipment, isn't it? So in a very similar fashion, these 3 levels of certifications of bronze, silver, and gold has been brought in for this MSME, which gives an indication to their external agencies. For example, your potential vendors, your potential customers, to say that, hey, this is the company which is conscious about the environment, is conscious about the quality. So it is conscious about both of these aspects and has balanced the entire thing in a very beautiful way. And that's the reason why I should go and work with this company. I should go and buy from this company, or I should be able to sell my products to this company. Yeah. So this ZED certification scheme of bronze, silver, and gold essentially helps you to get this kind of a rating, saying that, yeah, I am good, better, and best within the parameters of ZED. And how it is done? It is done using a very simple conformity model. It's a very simple conformity model. There would be a set of 20 parameters. I'll walk you through those 20 parameters in some time. There will be very easy to understand 20 parameters. And you can decide as to whether you are ready for bronze, silver, or gold. So if you find that those 20 parameters are cakewalk for you, oh, I am already doing all these things, simple. So that you can directly go for a gold certification. If you find that, no, I am still a growing company, I need to do a lot of systems and processes in place. At this point of time, let me start the journey of ZED, and you can easily become a bronze certification company. Yeah, ZED bronze is absolutely an easy thing. More than 5,000 companies have today registered for ZED bronze in our ecosystem so far. So it's a very easy process to do. And the good part is you start getting the benefits even when you are a ZED bronze company. You didn't necessarily need not be a ZED gold company to get the benefits. Even when you are a bronze, you start getting the benefits from the government of India. So that's the beauty of the ZED certification process. Yeah. And then you can apply for any certification level depending upon your own maturity levels or organizational maturity levels. Yeah. And there will obviously be a question, that 20 parameters, say I am already an ISO 9000 company. Why should I again once again prove that I am conscious about quality? Oh, I am already an ISO 14000 company. I already know about the environmental consciousness. I am OSHA certified and compliant and so on, right? So if you are already having those kind of certifications like OSHA 9000 or any other certification bodies relevant to the parameters of environment and quality, then a lot of parameters gets exempted for you. It becomes much more easier. It is not even 20, then it is even less than that. So that's how systematically the process has been built into this. Yeah. And there's a very simple process that happens. And the good part about this whole program is that incentives are raining. Let me tell you this. Incentives की बारिश हो रही है. ठीक है? Every day we keep on hearing a new incentive being announced by the government for people who are in the ZED scheme. Yeah, I have a slide on the. I was having a slide on the summary of the incentives, right? When you saw the presentation earlier, that's only the summary. Because even today, I don't know what is the new scheme, new incentive that has been brought in, because everyone has to go and log into the system to see what is the incentive that is applicable for them. And that's how more and more benefits and incentives are getting into the system for companies which are ZED certified into bronze, silver, and gold. So that's a beautiful part about this whole program. So that's what is the features of ZED. As I said, 3 levels of certification. You can either go for a bronze or silver or for gold, right? So each certificate is valid for 3 years. If we take as a ZED bronze, it's valid for 3 years. With at the end of 3 years, the validity of the ZED certificate gets expired. Yeah. Similarly, ZED silver, gold, again for 3 years. There's a only situation is that if you are done with the ZED silver after 3 years, you can apply either for ZED silver or ZED gold, right? But if you're a ZED bronze certified company, you cannot reapply for ZED bronze after 3 years. You have to move up the ladder. From ZED bronze, you have to come to bronze to silver after 3 years. You cannot remain in bronze for more than 3 years. That is one of the criteria that has been set in by the ministry for this particular certification scheme. So bronze, silver, and gold. This is the progressive way of getting yourself certified into this scheme. Okay. Nothing stops you from directly going to gold. As I said, you can take a gold, you can take a silver, you can take a bronze, depending upon how mature you are in the organization. So that is what is the advantage of the 3-level certification program of ZED. Right? So let us quickly talk about how this process is and what parameters are there. Okay. Now, first and foremost, the entire process is online. Okay. The entire process is online. You need not file any paper anywhere and wait for some feedback to come by snail mail, or go to some office somewhere in the city and say that, hey, I want to go for ZED. No need to do that. Everything has gone online. Okay. Now, how the process works is you have to log yourself into the system and you have to undertake the compliances. And that, yeah, I am fully compliant with all my regulatory requirements. That's the starting point of this particular program. And once you do that, the system will ask you to upload whatever documentation is required for those parameters which you are going for. For example, I'll come to that parameters list again. Multiple numbers of parameters are there for each certification level. So for each of those parameters that are required for certification, you have to only upload the necessary documents into the system. Yeah. So once that happens, if you're a bronze company, there is no assessment. So there is no assessment at all. So they believe that whatever documents are uploaded is right. Okay. I mean, the documents that are uploaded has to be genuine. That's the only concern that they have. They look at the genuineness of the documents that you have done, the photographs that you are uploading. And if everything is fine, they will give the bronze certificate. Right. So we have seen QCI and giving the bronze certificates out for people who apply into the bronze in as less as 3 days. 3 दिन में दे देते हैं. फटाक से चेक कर लेते हैं, सब कुछ ठीक है, तीसरा दिन आपका ब्रॉन्ज का सर्टिफिकेशन सिस्टम में आ जाता है. ठीक है. Silver and gold, it takes a little bit more time because there is a concept of an assessment that comes in when you're applying for silver and gold. So this assessment for silver will be a remote assessment. So they will do that. They will ask you to show all the documentation that is required for the silver assessment. And once they are satisfied, the QCI is satisfied, then they will proceed with the silver award for the company. Similarly, for the gold, there is an on-site inspection or on-site assessment done by the QCI appointed assessor. So we'll come to your site and verify whatever you are saying is true or not. And if they are satisfied with your situation, they will then recommend you for the gold certification. So this is how the silver gold certification has the assessment stage. The bronze does not have any assessment stage in it. Okay, so bronze is very straightforward, easy to get it. So hope you are able to get the gist of this particular certification process. Yeah, it's a very simple process, as I'm saying. Coming to the parameters, like I told about 20 parameters, right, to begin with, right? So these 20 parameters have been like divided into certain simpler blocks. So if you look at the first 5 parameters are the ones that are required for you to go into the bronze certification. So if you look at it, they are very simple parameters. We will dwell into them one by one as we go ahead, right? Then if you want to go for silver, there are an additional 9 parameters, which will bring the total to 14. So 5 parameters that are already there for the bronze, plus another 9 parameters, which will take you to 14 parameters, which are required for you for being eligible for a silver certification. And if you're a gold certification company, then there is an additional 6 parameters that would come into play, taking it to total to 20 parameters. So all the 20 parameters you have to be compliant on for being certified for gold. And again, I'm repeatedly saying this, although the number is 20, but if you already are having certifications like ISO 9000, 14,000, OSHAs, lean, and so on and so forth, this number of parameters gets appropriately reduced. So I have a chart on this as well. I will show that chart, how many parameters are getting reduced because of which certification. Yeah. So this is what is the broad outline of the various certifications that various parameters that we need to be compliant for the various certification levels. Yeah. Any questions so far on this, the process as well as the number of parameters? If there are any questions, I am more than happy to address them now. Either you can use a chat box, as I said, or please unmute yourself and ask a question. I would be happy to answer it. Any questions so far? Looks like either you are not listening to me or I'm very good that there are no questions. Huh? Makes it easier. So interact. This is for you, right? So for you guys to understand the whole concept. The more you interact, the more we will be able to share information with you. And otherwise, there's going to be a completely one-sided conversation that's happening. Risk of online precisions. So I don't see any questions coming so far. No raise of hands. So it's good to go, I believe. And let's proceed then. Okay. So what I'm going to now walk you through is a very quick walkthrough of those 20 parameters that are required for the ZED certification, because I want to spend some good amount of time on the benefits. So I wouldn't spend too much on the parameters. I would like to go to benefits more than the parameters for you. So commitment to ZED, this is one of the leadership qualities that have to be demonstrated. That yes, I am concerned about the quality, I am concerned about the environment, and I will do the best that's possible for my organization to be compliant to the requirements of ZED. That commitment that comes from the leadership is all that is required for the first parameters. Yeah. No need to have any documentation or anything around this. That yeah, I'm committed. I'm sure all the MSME leaders, managers, owners, workers are all having this kind of a commitment towards quality and environment. So that's what is the leadership quality all about. Now, if you look at it, 2 very, very important parameters have been brought in the top 5. Yeah. So even for the bronze certification, very simple 2 parameters, but very important 2 parameters have been brought in. One is cleanliness and other is safety. Apparently, none of this would be directly having any impact on quality or environment. But even then, Swachh workplace and occupational safety, these are the first of the parameters that are coming up even for a bronze organization. So you need to ensure that you are having a very neat and clean place for working. There is a identified place for everything, as we typically call it in your 5S implementation. There is a place for everything, and everything is in its place. Everything is neat and clean. There is a tidiness in the organization. The toilets are clean. The eating areas are hygienic. And all those kind of things form a part of a Swachh workplace. So that is the second parameter of this ZED process parameters listing. Safety, highly important, because we want to ensure that our workers are working in a very, very safe environment, not only with respect to the safety perspective, but also the occupational health perspective, right? So ensuring that we are providing a very safe environment for our employees, for our workers, is something that we all should be looking forward for. So that is what is the starting point of this whole thing, right? So importance of safety, importance of hygiene, importance of cleanliness is very, very important. That's what is the starting point, and again re-emphasized about this. Okay, now the fourth point that is on the list here is something which I am sure all of you as MSMEs will agree. Most of the MSMEs, most of it, I'm not saying everyone, most of the MSMEs fail to deliver their goods to their customer on time. This is an unfortunate situation in our country. There may be exceptions. I'm not saying that everyone does it, but today, if I am placing an order for something in the system to buy something from somewhere, there is a very high likelihood that the item would be delayed. This is an unfortunate truth of our country. And this particular habit of not being able to deliver on time is something, a bad habit, which is actually creating a bad impression of Indian manufacturing, not only within India, but in the international market also. So when we interact with a lot of players in the international market, one of the things that first and foremost they ask, will you be able to deliver on time? That is the question that nowadays comes first. Quality तो बाद में के पूछते हैं, क्या आप टाइम पे दे सकते हो क्या? Is the first question, because पिछले बार हमारा बहुत बुरा एक्सपीरियंस हुआ. 15 दिन में माल देगा बोला, 3 महीने लगाया फिर भी माल मटेरियल नहीं आया उसका. So measurement of timely delivery, awareness of how to ensure that you are delivering your goods on time is the top, one of the topmost parameters that is there for the ZED certification. Even for the bronze, this is there. So please see the importance that is being given for not only for the quality, but very subtle things, very, very important things like delivery time. So this is how we want to grow us with us as a nation, that each one of MSMEs need to pledge ourselves saying that कि जिस डेट में मैंने बोला उसके पहले मेरा मटेरियल चला जाना चाहिए कस्टमर के पास. ठीक है? So that is what is the whole game of the measurement of the time delivery. And I understand there are genuine reasons why we are not able to deliver on time. हमारा supply chain जो है उसमें बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. सप्लाई चेन में प्रॉब्लम है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस में बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं. ठीक है? एंड ये सब करा के हो जाता है कि हम लोग कितना भी कोशिश करें, कहीं ना कहीं हमें रॉ मटेरियल टाइम पे नहीं मिलता है, हमारी मशीन्स बंद हो जाती हैं, मैन पावर का शॉर्टेज हो जाता है, एंड कुछ नया प्रॉब्लम सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो, राइट चला गया, 2 घंटे के लिए शट डाउन होने वाला था, 8 घंटे का शट डाउन हो गया. ठीक है? ऑल दिस एक्सक्यूजेस आर देयर, बट देन इवन देन द मोमेंट वी स्टार्ट हैविंग अवेयरनेस ऑफ timely delivery, I'm sure that there will be an improvement that comes in, right? And that's the reason why measurement of timely delivery is a critical parameter for ZED. Quality management, of course, that's the next parameter on the list. Quality management, we are quality conscious. We have to be bound to the quality procedures and policies. And that's one of the key things that all MSMEs do follow. Most of you must already be ISO 9000 certified organizations, and I'm sure this is a cakewalk for you, quality management. Human resource management, this is from the 6th parameter onwards, as I said. The 6th parameter onwards is where you go into the silver and to the gold, right? Until 5th, it is the bronze. From the 6th onwards until 14, it is silver and the gold. So the emphasis on human resource management. How are you, or do you have a right kind of a policy for your HR? Are the roles and responsibilities clearly documented? Does everyone know what to do? Do you train your people? Do you understand the skills competency? Do you understand what training needs are required for them to be a good performer in your organization? So all those things put together becomes a human resource management situation, right? And then daily works management. Do you have a system of managing? मैं आज क्या बनाने वाला हूँ? मेरा कल का कितना backlog है? मेरा आज क्या क्या complete करना है मुझे? मेरे और कुछ issues हैं क्या? Do you do this particular daily works management? That's another activity. We all work with equipment, right? Manufacturing is all about having equipment to do the manufacturing process. So do you have a planned maintenance process in place? Do you calibrate your instruments on a regular basis? very critical thing to understand. I, as an instrumentation engineer, this is a very passionate subject for me about instrument calibration, because we often see that the instruments are not taken care of by the people who are working on the shop floor. इधर उधर फेंक देते हैं, वर्नियर कैलिपर, स्क्रू गेज, वे स्केल का तो पूछो ही मत. वे स्केल की तो जब भी मैं कोई फैक्ट्री में जाके विजिट करता हूँ और उनका शॉप फ्लोर में एक चक्कर मारता हूँ, तो मुझे बुरा लगता है कि वे स्केल जो तुम्हारे लिए, the thing is like you sell and buy based on the weight of the item that you are selling or buying, and any error in that weight is directly impacting your profits, right? 10 ग्राम भी 15 ग्राम भी अगर ज्यादा दिखाएगा, over a period of time you are losing that much money, right? It's something that impacts your profit. So many instruments that impacts your quality, right? And उस instruments की तरफ अगर आप ध्यान नहीं दोगे, उसको regularly maintain नहीं करोगे, तो obviously कहीं ना कहीं उसको bottom line को आपको impact करेगा. So this plant maintenance of your equipment, calibration of your equipment, instruments and everything needs to be done on time. So this particular parameter helps you to be conscious and aware of doing this. Yeah. So that's about the plant maintenance and calibration. And then lot of process control processes. If you are an organization in which there is an awareness of process control and you have a methodology of process control, either through automation or through manual corrections, then based on results of the process monitoring, that you continuously, for example, if temperature is a critical parameter in a manufacturing process, and you have a continuous temperature monitoring mechanism based on which you kind of adjust either the flow of gas into your furnace or some other methodology by which temperature is controlled, then that process control helps you to ensure that you have a good quality product, as well as a direct impact on the wastages, on the environment, by not wasting energy or not wasting resources on things that you don't want to manufacture, right? So that's about the process control. And then about the product quality and safety, whether there is a testing certification for all the products that you are manufacturing. Very important criteria, because दुनिया अगर आप कोई चीज बेचना चाहते हो दुनिया में, बाहर में आज, तो वो 100% आपको प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन के बारे में बात करेंगे. आपको प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफाई किए बगैर आप बाहर बेच ही नहीं सकते, राइट? इंडिया में चल जाता है, आपके मैन्युफैक्चरर, आपके वेंडर्स, आपके कस्टमर्स के साथ में आपका रिलेशनशिप है, यार ये आइटम अच्छा है बोल के आप बेच सकते हो. इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में नहीं चलेगा. तो आपको प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन, प्रोडक्ट टेस्टिंग करना ही पड़ता है, बिकॉज दैट विल मेक यू कॉम्पिटिटिव देयर. सो अवेयरनेस ऑन दैट. मटेरियल्स मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेसेस, आपके पास में क्या इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट के प्रोसेसेस हैं? क्या आप अपने मटेरियल्स को प्रॉपर्ली स्टोर करते हो? क्या आप ध्यान देते हो क्या कि मेरे पास में ऐसा कोई मटेरियल नहीं है जो पुराना हो गया है, मैं इसको कहीं और रीयूज कर सकता हूँ, उसको वेस्ट नहीं करने दूंगा मैं? तो इस तरह से मटेरियल्स मैनेजमेंट रिलेटेड प्रोसेस आल्सो. देन ऑफ कोर्स एनर्जी मैनेजमेंट, वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर द होल कांसेप्ट ऑफ ZED is energy. One part, zero effect, that is energy. So if you are you measuring your energy? Are you seeing there are any leakages of energy in your system? So energy could be in all different forms. It could be, of course, it's all about electricity and gas and water and those resources. But then again, human resources is also a very valid source of energy, which also needs to be managed properly. So all these things are kind of understood under the energy management process. And then there is an environment management process. Energy to manage kar liya. Are you also concerned about the environment? What steps are you taking to ensure that you are not creating a waste in the system, right? So all those things are required for your energy management process. Then there is a significant amount of contribution towards analysis and measurements. Are you having necessary systems in place to measure continuously your processes? How is your supply chain? Are you having very good relationships with your vendor, with your customer, so that, again, linked with what we spoke about in the beginning about timely delivery. So what kind of relationships you have with your vendor so that your supply chain is strong. Similarly with the customer, so that logistics becomes proper and ensures that you have working in an environment, in an ecosystem, I would say, which is very effective and efficient, right? And you have a methodology of risk management. And typically, like if you are an ISO 9000 organization, risk management is inbuilt into it. So this particular parameter automatically comes in if you're an ISO 9000 company. Do you understand what kind of risks you are handling as a part of your operations? What kind of mitigation efforts you are taking? Are you a very safe company when it comes to risks? This is another very critical parameter when it comes for having an international presence. If you want to sell internationally, this is one of the major factors that a company would, a potential customer would look at. कि भाई आज तो मैंने इसको ऑर्डर दे दिया, बट क्या ये कल सस्टेन कर पाएगा अपने बिजनेस को? If something goes wrong with the order that is placed, will he be able to come out and help me with that particular purchase. And so that's the kind of risk assessment that internationally people are doing today. So risk management is an integral part of your system as well. But important to understand, until 14 is what we do for silver. From 15 onwards, that is supply chain risk management, and the remaining 4 are when we go into the organization. So what kind of waste management methodologies I am putting into place? Am I continuously improving myself technologically? आज मेरे पास में कोई equipment है जो say for example is giving out spray of powder into the environment. So do I technologically improve myself to put a dust collector on top of it so that my dust doesn't go and pollute the environment, but gets captured and can be potentially reused as well? So do I do those technology upgradations in my system? So all those things are being understood today as a part of the technology side selection and upgradation process. Yeah. And then a good amount of awareness toward natural resources and conservation of natural resources. Are you already using any water harvesting methodology? Are you using solar power? Are you using wind power? Is the organization already aware of all the renewable sources of energies and how the consumption is happening? And similarly, in the corporate social responsibility, this is a very important thing, because corporate social responsibility we typically think is only for corporates. ये बड़े लोगों का काम है, अपना कुछ काम नहीं है इसमें. But that's not the case. You have a responsibility as an MSME, not only for yourself, but to the society around you. One small factory in a small village has shown to transform the entire village, either through a lot of opportunities for employment within the factory, or opportunities for supporting some of the other activities that happen in the factory. So ensuring that you are also responsible for the society around you is something that is now getting emphasized, even for the MSMEs, to become a part of this ZED program. So broadly, these 20 parameters are the ones that you go in for when you go in for certifications. And as I was saying, you already have an exemption for many of those parameters if you have the certificates already in place. Like if you're having an ISO 9000, your quality management parameter is knocked off. Same thing is with the risk management also. If already having 45,001, then your occupational health and safety gets knocked off. That is the third parameter gets knocked off, and so on and so forth. So the number of parameters for a gold company already having the certifications in place gets reduced by 6. It's only 14 parameters for them. Similarly, if you're going for bronze and you already have 45,001 and 9,001, then it is only 3 parameters that you want to take care of: a Swachh workplace and your delivery commitment. All other things are kind of automatically taken care of. Yeah. So let me pause here for any questions on these parameters before I jump into the benefits, because the benefits is something that I'm sure would interest all of you. But are having any questions so far on the parameters? Yeah. Elango, Alok ji, any questions that you're having, being manufacturers yourself? I don't see any raise of hands. I don't see any chats. I hope you are all listening and not just signed in and doing something else. So please pay attention. So let's now jump into the main, the meat of what the discussion is all about. So मेरे लिए क्या है? Certification तो कर सकते हैं, चलो. But इसमें मेरा benefit क्या है? इसमें what is this that I'm going to gain from this particular processes? Now, let us understand that there are certain incentives and then there are certain subsidies. I hope you are all understanding the difference between the two. There are some incentives given and then there are some subsidies given. Right? Subsidies is like when you want to buy something, instead of paying 10 rupees, you are paying 6 rupees. Right? So you are getting a subsidy of 4 rupees. That is subsidy. Incentive is, if you are certified organization, then you are getting some benefits from various people to say that, yeah, you can, instead of spending 10 rupees in future, you give me only 4 rupees. So that's an incentive of 6 rupees for you. So there's a subsidy and there is an incentive. So two differences that you need to understand. And this ZED scheme has got both incentives as well as subsidies. So let me clarify this first before I go to the next slides. Yeah? So let us understand that this practice will have multiple benefits. So it is not only that you get money. That is obvious. There are some monetary benefits for you. But there are some non-monetary benefits which effectively impact your bottom line eventually. Yeah? Very simple. Your operations get much better. Yeah, your operations get streamlined when you are actually going into the ZED scheme. Yeah, your increased awareness of quality, your increased awareness of reduced rejections, and so on and so forth will also bring about an improvement in the way you work as an organization. Yeah? And overall, what happens is that the image of the company as a ZED certified bronze, gold, or silver also creates an impression for the people who are outside. And that, hey, this is a ZED gold registered company, right? So I'm sure that they've got all these good parameters with them, and let me do a business with them, kind of thing. So this credibility improves for you. So that, yeah, I am dealing with a company which is compliant to these 20 parameters, and I'm sure that they are good. So that's the kind of credibility that comes in when you have a ZED certification. So yeah. So let us first look at some of the subsidies that we talk about. The certification comes with a price, right? The cost of going into certification for bronze, silver, and gold is listed there. 10,000 rupees for applying for a bronze certification to the government of India, 40,000 for silver, and 90,000 for gold. This is the cost when you apply for the certification without considering any subsidies. Okay, but if you consider subsidies, then depending upon whether you are a micro, small, or a medium enterprise, the cost is subsidized by 80, 60, or 50%, which means that, for an example, if you want to go for a silver certification and you happen to be a medium enterprise, then you get a 50% subsidy, which means that you are entering into the system at only 20,000 rupees. So you don't have to pay 40,000 rupees. You pay only 20,000 rupees to come into a certification for silver. Similarly, if you are a medium enterprise and you want to go for gold, instead of 90,000, you have a subsidy of 45,000, and you go into this scheme with only 45,000 payment. So this is the first level of subsidy that the government of India has announced for getting into the certification program. On top of this, 80, 60, and 50%, there is one more layer of subsidy that is given, which is like if you are a woman enterprise, right? So you will get an additional 5% subsidy on this. So if you are a small enterprise which is woman-led, then instead of 60% subsidy, you'll get 65% subsidy. There's another jump to it. And then, 10%. Okay, 10% if you're an MSME owned by woman entrepreneur. Similarly, if you're an MSME in the northeastern part of the country, in the Himalayan territories, then you also get an additional 10% benefit. No? And to sweeten the deal, the government of India has already given you already ready to give you a starting benefit of 10,000 rupees in your ZED wallet. So the moment you register for the ZED program, you get a 10,000 rupees credit into your ZED wallet, which means that if you're a medium enterprise, out of 20,000 rupees that you have to pay, you already have 10,000 rupees in your wallet. So additionally, you have to pay only 10,000 rupees for it. So that's the kind of incentives that, or the subsidies that the government is ready to give you to come into this entire program. Yeah. Any doubts on this? Because this is money. इसमें कुछ doubt है मेरा कितना खर्चा होगा? If I want to go for a ZED scheme, मेरा कितना खर्चा होने वाला है? ये वो screen है. कोई doubt है इसमें? Good. Okay. And there are other graded incentives as well that we keep on going. Like, for example, there are incentives that are already being provided by a lot of the state governments. Every state government has come out with a number of incentives that they're ready to give to their MSMEs, and those are applicable for the state in which you are registered for the UDM. And when you go into the website, you will find the details about these registrations there. So that is another way to look at it. Apart from this, there are a lot of other financial assistance that are given by the program. For example, if you are into a product certification, right? You already have a product and you want to do the product certification for this. The product certification is going to cost you some money. After you certify your product, you can apply for 75% of refund of the cost of certification. 75% of the refund for the cost of certification. Let me give an example to you. Suppose you are already an ISO 9000 company. You are having an ISO 9000 certification with you. And at the end of the first 3 years or the second 3 years of cycle of certification, you are going for a recertification of your ISO 9000 certificate. And you end up spending, say, 1 lakh rupees for that certification process. And just an example of 1 lakh. Out of that 1 lakh, after you get the certification, you can apply for a refund up to 50,000 rupees or 75% of the certification expense, and they will give it back to you. This is happening, huh? It's not just on the paper. Government is giving back this money to you. I have umpteen examples of a lot of my clients who have completed their ISO certification after ZED, applied for the refund and got the money back. So it is a very, very transparent process. Without leaving your office, you can apply for the refund. Just upload the certificate, upload the invoice, and you get the refund. Of course, certificate has to be from a genuine company. There are criteria for that. So if you are applying for the refund, it happens very quickly. In about 4 weeks, you get the money back into your pocket. Yeah. So that is one of the starting point for the financial assistance. And then there is, if you want to do any technology upgradation, as I was giving an example, there is something that is happening in my plant in which I am not able to control the pollution, and I require to add an equipment to it. I need to do some upgradation to my equipment. Government is ready to pay you up to rupees 3 lakhs, for such technology upgradation. Yeah. But there's a process that you have to follow for this. We will probably have to take another session for that to make you understand how you can get those technology related upgradation refund from the Government of India. So these are some of the financial assistance that the Government of India and the Quality Council of India through the QCI provides. Yeah. And then there are certain other ancillary benefits also. For example, if you want to participate in an international cooperation scheme to go for an exhibition, an international exhibition, then already the government is having a 3 lakh incentive that the government pays you 3 lakhs rupees under the IC scheme, but now they are enhanced that to 4 lakhs if you are a silver or a gold, and 3.5 lakhs if you are a bronze certified company. So an additional benefit of a lakh at 1.05 lakhs is there when you are a bronze company or a silver company. Similarly for the airfare also. And you can even take there is a freight related discounts that are also given for ZED related organizations. So this is some of the incentives that is given by the government. Apart from this, a lot of other agencies, institutions are also giving a lot of discounts, a lot of incentives for ZED certified companies. Railways, for example, if you are a ZED certified company and you want to take your product for an exhibition, right? Not for the routine dispatches, for the exhibition, then they would give you those discounts on top of the whatever is a freight charge for the normal freight charge. Yeah. Banks are giving a lot of concessions. Yeah. A lot of banks have now got tied up into this scheme, and they are giving concessions either for the processing fee or even at the rate of interest. Even there is a reduction of 0.25% in the rate of interest. I'm sure that's a big benefit for you. When you have got a working capital in the range of 15 to 20 lakhs being taken from the banks, and even if there is a reduction of 0.25% on the rate of interest, that's a big benefit for you guys, right? That's another thing. Yeah. And a lot of credit bureaus are also getting incorporated into the scheme, and they are also improving your credit rating if you're a ZED organization. Those are some of the benefits coming into this. Now, as I said, benefits and incentives ki barish ho rahi hai. 1 slide or 2 slides cannot really justify the kind of benefits that is being given. So you need to visit the website of ZED, MSME.org. It's not so clearly visible. I will have another screenshot of this to help you to go into this. So how to apply for the process? It's a very simple process. As I said, this is the website on which you have to go and apply for the ZED program. It is www.zed.msme.gov.in. It's a very simple screen that you will get. Either you can use it on your mobile phone, Android or iPhone, or on your laptop or on a desktop. Access this particular portal. You can register. So there's a very simple registration process. It will ask you a few questions. As I said, Udyam is mandatory. Udyam is mandatory for getting into ZED. You have to include your Udyam number here and Udyam registered mobile number. An OTP will come, which will verify your existence in the system. And based on whatever is mentioned in the Udyam registered database, automatically gets copied here. Like for example, in this case, this Shiriji Polymers, the screenshot that we have taken, has got a factory registered somewhere in flat number 1817 or wherever. That comes up. Important is that your ZED certification is for every individual factory. Let me repeat. ZED certification is at a factory level. So if you have got 3 different factories which are registered under Udayam, then you have to apply for 3 different ZED certification processes for the 3 companies. You may choose not to apply for the other 2 if you are not confident. Only एक के लिए आपको चाहिए, बाकी दोनों के लिए नहीं चाहिए. It's fine. It's up to you. But you have to apply it at a factory level, at a unit level. That is why the second screen that comes up is select the unit for which you want to apply for ZED. That is how the process starts. The registered email ID, password, and all those things would come into play, and then you are into the system. Yeah. And once you are logged in, and once you get registered, you will be sent a pledge, a ZED pledge, which very simply says that we undertake to conform to the values of zero effect, zero defect in our enterprise, and ensure that our processes shall be environmentally sound, socially responsible, with safe and high quality products. We will give back in every way we can to our people, our community, and to our planet. A very simple pledge. It's a very powerful pledge, and we expect that you kind of live the pledge in your day-to-day operations, and that's how you start off the journey of ZED. So this is a pledge certificate that would come, and this pledge certificate can ideally should be framed and kept in your office, in your workplace, wherever people can see and remember that, yeah, we are committed to this concept of zero effect and zero defect. And that's how you come into the system. Yeah. So your registration details automatically come on the email address for you. And then after the login, you can then start with the process of either the bronze or silver or the gold certification, depending upon which parameter you want to, or how many parameters you are compliant to. And it's a very simple process of applying for the documentation. So a list of documents that you need to have to upload into the system. It's all, again, as I said, it's all online. Okay, you don't have to send any documents anywhere by physical mail at all. There is no physical documentation concept in ZED. Everything is in soft copy. Everything is geotagged. So when you apply for a certification and you are asked to take a photograph of your unit, it is getting geotagged that yes, it is in this particular place. And subsequently, whatever pictures you are taking is also getting geotagged. Conducting the opening meeting, geotagged. Okay. Shop floor where my people are working, photograph, geotag. So it automatically gets geotagged and get uploaded to the system. So it is the beauty of applying technology to the system and processes that we are having. So all this set of documents that are required for uploading into the system, and there's a very simple manual of this particular sets of do's and don'ts, which is available on the zed.msme.org.in website. I can easily download those documents and refer to them. It's a very simple process. You don't need help from anyone for applying for ZED. And let me be very clear on this. This is just an awareness program. You can do your ZED journey yourself. You don't need anybody external to help you with your registration process or applying for the ZED, uploading the photographs. You are able to buy on Amazon. You can work on ZED. It's as clear as that. Okay, so very simple process. So you have to upload all the selfies, the photographs, and all those things. So this is how you typical photographs of an exterior, which gets uploaded. Product photographs gets uploaded. Your shop floor, such a workplace concept gets uploaded. Yeah, I am having a very clean workplace, so the photograph should be able to demonstrate that. Similarly, my toilets are clean, my eating places are clean, my canteens are clean. I've got a very beautiful or well-organized inventory management system. So all these photographs and everything would help to prove that you are following a particular parameter. So these are all various photographs about the environmental, the occupational safety related activities. My fire extinguishers are in place, and so on and so forth, right? All these are very, very evident photographs. My people are having the necessary PPEs and so on. So ensure that the photographs that you're uploading are proper. Okay, please do not upload any unclear photographs, because if you upload an unclear photograph, the person who is looking at it in the system will not be able to certify you, right? So we will have to ask you the question to re-upload the photograph, right? And COVID protection gear is not a PPE. Okay, so this particular photograph is I'm wearing a COVID protection kit, so that's not a PPE thing. And so on and so forth. So all these are various photographs that you need to upload, and that's how your certification process happens. So based on this, the certificate looks like this. There's a bronze, silver, or gold. So it's a proud thing to have. You once you complete the process and to get yourself certified, party, right? So it's a party time. So you please ensure that you are passing all this information, publishing it everywhere on your social media handles. Hey, I am a ZED certified company from today onwards, right? And this is my certificate. Be proud to post it on your social media handle. Be proud to put it on your nameplate outside. Your beautiful nameplate is there in the front of your gate. You can choose ZED certified company. So anyone who passes by your organization, your factory, will see that, hey, ye kya hai? ZED kya hai? And then they will start finding out, oh, this is a nice thing. So it's a ZED certified company, right? So let me now understand this. So we can be proud of being a ZED certified company, right? So thank you very much for your attention. I hope that I have been able to justify the time that all of you have given to me, and help me with creating this awareness on this very wonderful Atmanirbhar initiative by the government of India to make organizations much more competitive, not only in terms of quality, but in terms of sustainability as well. So do visit this website on zed.msme.gov.in for all information that you want about this scheme. And of course, I would be happy to be able to help you in whatever way I can. If you need any assistance, you need any information, I will be happy to assist you. And I think with that, let me hand it over to Vaibhavji to take it forward from here for any Q&A. Vaibhavji, all yours. Yeah, Vaibhavji.
Vaibhav, you'll have to unmute. Vaibhav, you'll have to unmute.
Thank you, sir, for explaining the topic in simplifying way. Now I request all the delegates to put the questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask directly. I request all the delegates to put your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask directly.
Yes, sir, I think there is a question from Mr. Elangoji on the chat.
Yeah, let me look at it.
Yeah, Elangoji, you can. I think Elangoji has also put on his video, so we'll ask him to actually. I'll add him to the spotlight, and he can actually ask.
Yes, Mr. Elango.
Elangoji, we can't hear you, Elangoji.
Sir, Elango, sir, please unmute yourself.
He's unmuted, but I don't think this thing is connected.
Okay, so what but I hope he's able to hear. Yeah, Elangoji, can you hear me? A thumbs up, please. Are you able to hear me? A thumbs up.
So you can reply. We'll type it. We'll type it into the chat box so you can see it, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this is a good question. Again, that's the reason why I said we have to emphasize. This is the place where पैसे की बात आती है, right? So obviously this is something that everyone wants to understand. इसमें मेरा खर्चा कितना होने वाला है भाई, ठीक है? So खर्चा एक तो direct खर्चा, that is the amount of money that you're going to spend, give to the government for the certification process. So there is a cost of 10,000 rupees for the bronze, 40,000 rupees for silver, and 90,000 rupees for gold. This is the unsubsidized cost. Okay, unsubsidized cost. The subsidy will depend upon whether you are a micro, small, or medium enterprise. Elangoji, I hope you are paying attention to this. The subsidy depends upon whether you are a micro, small, or a medium enterprise, whether you are a Shruti-driven organization, or you are an MSME which is owned by a woman enterprise. So depending on that, the amount of subsidy will change. Let me take an example. If you are going for ZED bronze to begin with, it could cost you zero. It could cost you zero if you are going for ZED bronze. Why? Because the government is already putting 10,000 rupees into your wallet. The 10,000 rupees that government is putting into your wallet can straight away be used for your ZED bronze certification. So that's taken care. So there is zero amount to be paid, right? But if you don't want to utilize the 10,000 rupees and you want to utilize a subsidy of being an MSME, then if you are a micro enterprise, then you got a 80% subsidy on this 10,000 rupees. And if you are a woman enterprise, then you got 80 plus 10, 90% subsidy on 10,000 rupees, which means that out of 10,000 rupees, you have to pay only 1,000 rupees for your bronze certification, right? Similarly, if you are a micro enterprise and you want to go for silver, there is 80% subsidy on 40,000 rupees, right? So that is the way the structuring of the cost for certification goes. Elengoji, is this clear for you? Yeah, Elengoji says, okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Requesting all of you, if anyone has a question, please put in the chat box.
And apart from the actual cost for certification, if there are any incidental cost in your organization, for an example, yeah, my toilet is not clean. The tiles टूटा हुआ है, मेरा commode टूटा हुआ है, मेरा दरवाजा टूटा हुआ है, अंदर लाइट नहीं है. Hey, don't worry, ऐसा नहीं होता है, लेकिन मैं बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आपका फैक्ट्री में कंडीशन अगर ऐसा है, तो देन उसका जो भी रिपेयर के लिए खर्चा आएगा वो आएगा. That's an incidental cost which is considered to be part of a certification process, right? So you will be able to bear those costs. You will have to spend those money. Or for example, मेरा raw material सब इधर उधर बिखरा पड़ा हुआ है, ठीक है, मेरे को उसको properly रखने के लिए racks नहीं है. So if I want to buy racks, then of course rack का cost आएगा. और for example मेरे पास में मेरे workers के पास मैंने PP दिया ही नहीं है, ठीक है, क्योंकि उन लोग ने मेरा PP लास्ट टाइम जो दिया था सब फेंक दिया, कोई यूज नहीं करता है, कोई सेफ्टी शू नहीं पहनता है, ग्लव्स नहीं पहनता है, देना तो पड़ेगा, certification करना देना पड़ेगा. तो maybe that expense for buying those PPs for your staff would be an add-on expense. Yeah. So those will be the additional cost apart from the cost of certification. Yeah. Anything else?
Can I have a small question?
Yes, please. Dr. Sundar, please.
Yeah, please put on my video.
Your video is not seen, Dr. Sundar. I am only able to hear you.
Sir, you'll need to put it on from your side. Administration rights we've given, sir. Anyone can put on the videos.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Anant Narayanan, yourself.
Yes, sir.
It was nice of you and giving complete detail about this ZED. My question is very general, that this product was launched long back and it is very good product if I see, because based on the Japanese system and modern system, but why it has not picked up in India?
Absolutely.
That's
Very,
a
very
general
relevant.
question. Because
Very
why the government or the authorities or QCI promote this product? Because this is very good product for small scale industries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Sundar. So the thing is, if I go into, as you said, Japanese, right? So very, very true. Zero effect, zero defect. If you look at it, is nothing but Lean Six Sigma. Ek tarah se. If you're practicing Lean Six Sigma, it's almost the same as zero effect, zero defect, right? Now, having understood this importance, way back in 2017, QCI launched this ZED version 1.0. But to be frank, I am also to blame to it because I was part of that very initial think tank. We probably overcomplicated the whole process. 50 पैरामीटर लेके आया पहला, 50 पैरामीटर पहला लेके आया, ठीक है, और 50 पैरामीटर में we will do your competency assessment across all the parameters and we will grade you कि आप इसमें beginner हो, आप इसमें proficient हो, आप इसमें small हो, आप इसमें big हो करके. No, that particular methodology of assessment of an organization based on those 50 parameters was complicated, and QCI and all of us realized this after having launched ZED 1.0 in 2018. बड़े fanfare के साथ में सब किया, लेकिन जब भी when we hit the ground, we realize that it is a very complicated process and MSMEs don't want to adopt it. Okay? So that is the time when all of us came back to the drawing board and tried to figure out इसको और simplify कैसे कर सकते हैं. And that is how this whole concept of having this gold, silver, and bronze, silver, and gold in 3 levels as 5, 14, and 20 parameters came in. Initially, it was not the concept, right? So 5 simple parameters for bronze and so on and so forth. And this got launched in 2022 April, right? So from April 2022, which is just about a year from now, QCI and the Government of India, along with the DFO offices of MSMEs and the DI of MSMEs, have taken a lot of efforts in publicizing this scheme. एक साल से publication चल रहा है. Lot of awareness programs are now being conducted on this particular scheme, right? And as I was saying, because of this awareness, now we are seeing the MSMEs getting into the scheme slowly, right? And the MSMEs inherently have this kind of a what do you call as a fear factor कि ये scheme में मेरा खर्चा हो जाएगा, कुछ फायदा नहीं होने वाला है. And that is the reason why the government has brought in so many incentives and subsidies into the program. Like as I said, getting into the bronze is 0 cost for you. Take those 10,000 rupees and get into the bronze without any cost. Try out. अच्छा लगा scheme तो रहो scheme में, नहीं तो 3 साल के बाद में बंद हो जाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई नुकसान नहीं है उसमें आपका. बट incentives ले, कोशिश तो करो incentive लेने के लिए. As I was saying, ISO 9000 सर्टिफिकेशन 3 साल में तो आना ही आना है आपका. 3 साल के साइकिल में ISO 9000 सर्टिफिकेशन का रीसर्टिफिकेशन तो आना ही है, उसके पैसे तो आ ही जाएंगे आपको. सो इस तरह के जो स्कीम्स में जो इंसेंटिव्स है वो लेके गवर्नमेंट इस स्कीम को प्रमोट कर रही है. लॉट ऑफ अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स आर हैपनिंग. अभी क्या हो रहा है कि अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स आर हैपनिंग एट मल्टीपल लेवल्स. वन इज QCI इज ड्राइविंग द अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स, द DI इज ड्राइविंग द अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम, द DFO is driving the awareness programs, and on top of it, industry associations who are understanding that this is a good program for their manufacturers are also driving these programs. Like for example, I belong to New Bombay, Navi Mumbai, I stay in Kharghar. So I was invited by the Taloja Industry Association, which is close by. They were having a 3 days mela, a vendor mela for all their MSMEs, right? So they said that, why don't you take a 1 hour slot and talk about this ZED awareness program with all our vendors and all our manufacturers. So that is how the awareness program is now spreading. It will take time for the program to take roots. People will start understanding the benefits of this very simple program, but it will take time because वो inherently एक डर है MSMEs को कि ये और एक क्या हम लोग ISO 9000 करके देख लिया, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है साहब, वो एक दीवार पे एक सर्टिफिकेट है बस, that's all. This attitude is there in the minds of our MSMEs, and that is the thing that we all should struggle to break. And Dr. Katare, I am so happy that on a forum like this, the whole objective of this forum is more towards quality and safety and productivity together. And ZED is all about this. So
Yeah.
awareness create karna hai.
Thank you for giving really input. So many agencies are already working, but unfortunately,
आपका वॉइस फेड हो रहा है सर.
because MSME is having
आपका वॉइस फेड हो रहा है सर, नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है.
because they have nodal agencies who do lot. I would like to share my experience way back.
डॉक्टर साहब आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
Are you getting 1 minute? Yeah, are you getting me now?
Yes, now it is better. Yeah.
And now what I'm saying,
फिर से गया. Oh my God, फिर से चला गया आवाज उनका. Sumit ji, can you please check with Dr. Saab?
So I think Dr. Saab is not there. He's overseas, and I think he's having connectivity issues. So let me just again put something more forward, sir. Kaisa hai na ki Z, when it initially came up, CII was handholding the entire thing, and CII actually went ahead and did a lot of training programs for all CBs, and a lot of CBs got together. They got multiple people because this was supposed to come in a big way because it was spearheaded by Modi ji and zero effect, and it was a lot of propulsion, and the government put full wings to it. COVID kind of came in between, all that happened. But sir, nevertheless, the modus operandi of allocation of jobs still remained with the Z department, which I think was not done in a very clean way, because we never got a single assignment to be, it's not a right forum, but ICS did not do a single assignment after having 57 assessors in-house. After having 57 assessors. So then now I believe the modus operandi has changed, where they say that you need to get your own clientele, and now they're asking all CBs or all inspection bodies ki, why don't you go out and meet your industry and start roping in your industry for the Z scheme rather than they giving or allocation. So is that the right method today for job
It is
getting?
working. It is working actually. In my experience, for example, I also I am a ZED certified consultant, and I am empaneled with multiple bodies, multiple consulting bodies, right? So we are taking this initiative to reach out, and it is working wonders, because once we take an initiative and people come into the bronze, it takes time for them to realize that they have to go into silver and they need the handholding process. Right. But the moment they realize that and they go into the silver process, right now we are having a couple of consulting assignments going on in Karad. There is one going on in Patalganga. There is one going on in Himachal Pradesh. Ovidia. But that's all. But then it's happening. And it will, I believe it will take time to take a grip. Benefit kabhi aayega when the MSME who has got the incentives, who has got the subsidies, who has got the benefit, starts talking about it.
No, it's an amazing scheme, sir. It is very well thought of. It's put a lot of energy in assignments of questionnaires. The questionnaires are absolutely detailed. There is no room left for understanding or interpreting an answer, and they've got categorization there. So the scheme, the kind of homework that has been done for the Z scheme, I don't think any other scheme that has been launched by QCI has that kind of effort put in. So it's a superb scheme to be in. Thank you so much, sir. A lot of insight from you, and really appreciate the time given. And it was a lot of information bundled in your presentation. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and just to leave back, this is where you can reach out to me if you want to have any clarifications done. So happy to assist, and I'm so blessed, I would say, sir, to be part of this particular very noble initiative, as I said. And I was so thrilled to see your mission statement in the beginning and saying that we need to do something good for our industry to make them more safe.
It's an absolute honor, sir, and I request you, if you can just copy paste it on the chat box. People can copy it easier rather than holding on to the phrases.
That's right.
If you can just put your name and number and email ID on the chat box, people will definitely reach out to you, and we thank you for taking the time out and being a part of this initiative. Really an honor, sir, and a lot of learning. I'd hand over back to WebHub to take it on. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Our next session is on 15th April 2023. It will be taken by Mr. Anil Johri, sir, former CEO of NABCB. The following subtopics shall be covered by. Following sub-key points shall be covered by businesses flaunting ISO 9001, ISO 22000, certifications on products or product packaging, rules for making such statements, provisions in ISO 17021, what is allowed and what is not, followed by question and answer session. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, quality management system, environment management system, and occupational health and safety management system. Excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above books, please contact below Sushma Kendalkar. Feedback call. Please register on www.sadgunsung.org and go in your login and give feedback. On the behalf of the Sadgun Sangh team, I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav. I will take leave.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we officially close this session.
Thank you. Thank you, Akshata ji. Thank you, Sumit ji.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, sir.